Hi guys, we're going to be going over Monday's workout. So for today we are going to be doing timer-based with straight sets. That means each station you're going to be doing each exercise 4 times with 30 seconds of work, with 20 seconds of not rest, but of a combo exercise that's very similar to the original movement. So for example, normally we work for 30 seconds and then rest for 20. Well, now we're going to work for 30, work for 20, and the only rest time the clients are going to be getting is when they transition from station to station. Okay, so let's go over what the combo exercise is going to look like. They are meant to burn out that muscle group, so they're going to have to be smart about the weights they choose, maybe a little bit lighter than they normally would go. Okay, so the first station is going to be biceps. Okay, so for the bicep curl, we're going to be doing some plate work, and we do like the plate curls to go at a slight angle. So if you can see that, I'm actually going to be going towards the left shoulder, back down, and then towards the right shoulder, not swinging my hips, keeping the body nice and straight and that core engaged throughout that bicep curl. So 30 seconds will look a lot like this, a lot more range of motion than if I went like this, because I'm going to hit the chin then if I go straight up the body. For 30 seconds of curls, then 20 seconds is going to be of that strict 90-degree plate hold. Once that 20 seconds is up, we're going to go right back into that 30 seconds of bicep curls, so you can see how their biceps are going to burn out over the course of just 4 rounds here at this station. I would recommend most people are going to be doing 25s, 15s for that one. Maybe some strong people can try 35s, but I promise you're going to be good and tired. Station number 2, we're going to focus on chest. So we're going to want to choose the weight based on the pec fly, which I believe is the first exercise. Yeah, so choose the weights based off the first exercise, because it's going to be easier to do the second exercise than it will be to perform the first. So the pec fly, you can grab the 2 dumbbells, right? You're going to hold it by their side. Most of them probably do 15 for women, men. Let's try to get the men not to touch the 15s, okay? Because we need to save that for the women. We'll get them to the 20, 25s, possibly 30 if they can. We're going to get to that feet flat on the floor, back flat. Having those feet flat and the knees bent really does take a lot of pressure off that back. We're going to bring those weights up and together with a slight bend at that elbow. What we're going to do is we're going to pretend like I'm opening up to give somebody a hug. I'm going to go out, elbows touch the ground. It's nice to do this on the floor because we know we're not going to go past. Then I bring them up and together, the same pattern as they went down. So I'm giving somebody a hug and I'm pinching that chest muscle hard at the top as those weights come together. So think weights together, chest together as you pinch really hard. And what's nice about this is right at the end of 30 seconds, after they bring those weights together, they're going to hold them together, they're going to pinch them nice and tight, down to the chest and back up. So this is called a pinch press. Okay, so we're going to pinch chest press. I'm going to pinch those weights hard together as I perform my chest press pattern. And on this one, think nice and straight up, right above the chest throughout the course of that pattern. That's what I'm going to be doing for 20. And so that's why you understand that the weight they choose for pec fly, they will be able to perform for the second exercise, but they are going to get burnt out in the chest, just like they would on the biceps. Station 3, the combo exercises are going to burn out the quads. So we're going to be doing some heels elevated squats. We'll have all the weight plates out over here. We're actually going to be using the metal 25s to help out the clients here. They're a lot easier to move, and since we're using the bigger plates for curls, we're going to be using these for our squats. They're going to get a little more range of motion because their heels are elevated. So we're going to bring those feet pretty close together. Let's think about like inside their hips a little bit. So we're trying to perform what we would normally would call like a sissy squat, in the sense that we're really going to isolate those quads. So we're going to sit more forward, going to really burn it out, and then we're going to look to see if we can add possible weight to this exercise. So if you can, think about bringing that weight, whether it's a kettlebell or a medicine ball. We're going to hold at the chest, and then we're going to be putting a lot of pressure into that quad throughout that squat pattern for the course of that first 30 seconds. The 30 seconds is indeed squatting. So if they need to use a medicine ball, make sure they're holding it at the chest and giving it a big squeeze. Don't let them just get away with holding it. Squeeze it so that it engages those shoulder blades back and together. Not everybody is going to have the same depth as I do. I have one of those shallow hip capsules. So if it's okay if they're not getting as deep on that pattern, even if they have bad knees, having them move just a little bit will be plenty for that. They can keep the weight if they want, or they can put it down for their 20 seconds. They're going to go into a wall hold or a wall sit. So for this one, we're just looking for that 90-90. pushing those feet hard into the ground, those quads are gonna burn as we do a quad burner back and forth. If someone's over here just having the time of their life, they're not really feeling it, tell them to lift those toes. They're gonna burn out those quads super fast on a wall sit and lift those toes. It's a really simple way to make this exercise a lot harder. Or they can just take that weight with them instead of putting it back on the ground. The combo exercise station before is actually two different ones, but they're gonna go pretty easy and you guys won't have any problems demoing these. There's gonna be band pull-aparts with some lateral hops. So for the band pull-aparts, you guys are gonna take the bands. If they can perform it with double banded, that's fine, but remember, double banded or single banded starts from the shoulder. We don't let them take the band, like, oh, I can double band it, that's fine, and they just get all this slack here, start like this, and they don't hit tension until they're almost at 45 degrees. If they're gonna go double banded, they start at their shoulders, pulling it apart, so it gets all the way up to the chest, and then back in under control. So you wanna make sure the band always starts with a little bit of tension, okay? That's why I recommend for a lot of people that are probably gonna need to go down to a single band as they pull it apart. Just a nice reminder on this one is to always think, push your shoulders down as you pull that band towards your chest so they're not shrugging and using their upper traps in this pattern. Okay? So band pull apart, 30 seconds, looking for some nice good burnout back there by the shoulder blades, and then lateral hops. So we have all these lines, they can jump back and forth over their line, or they can just do it in place, and then we always have the two-step shuffle for those who can't hop. So you're thinking step, step, stop, step, step, stop, step, step, stop. We're trying to move that body inside of 20 seconds when they're at this station. So band pull aparts with a lateral hop. And then the final station with our combo exercises, we're working the glutes. So we're going to work to get into a mini band if we can. You might have some clients that can't wear them, and that's totally fine. They can do this exercise without. But just reminder that the blue ones are a little bit easier than the black. Okay, so if you do have some new people in your class, which you will have some new people starting on Monday, better start them on a blue band before you get into a black band. Remember, it's always more comfortable to have a band go on nice and flat. Okay, you just saw how I put it on. Always just press out, keeps that band from rolling up and becoming uncomfortable on the legs. Okay, for the glute bridge, just like in the warm-up, you're gonna have those feet flat on the floor, elbows locked in the ground. We are moving up and down, using those glutes to lift the hips up, driving out against the band with our knees. So we're not letting that band pull my knees in during this exercise. That's 30 seconds. Now, my 20 seconds of exercise is gonna be my clamshell. So you're pretending like you're lining yourself up with the wall, with your shoulders, your hips, and your feet, walking those feet together, pulling the band apart. We're looking for about 45 degrees, controlling it back down. Anytime we work with bands, it's important to not let the band do the work as we come back together. We have to make sure that we're the ones slowly in control, and that we're just fighting that resistance of the band the whole time. So we'll do clamshells 4 times, but really we're gonna do each side only twice. Okay? And that's your Monday workout.
2.
Alright guys, we're going to be talking a little bit about the Monday finisher. So we have the chipper. I love chippers because no matter how hard one exercise is, once you complete that certain amount of reps for the exercise, you do not have to do it again. So the way it works is that you're going to start with an exercise for a certain amount of reps. Once you've completed it, move on to the next exercise, and so on and so forth. The clients are going to get 6 minutes to try to complete everything on this list. Now, people who are modified will actually be able to move through the chipper a little bit quicker. Those people who can do all the full versions, but maybe they're not quite strong enough to knock out all the reps fast enough over the course of 6 minutes, may not finish, but that's okay. The goal is over the course of 4 weeks to see if they can finish and move a little bit faster every week. Okay, so I'm going to go over the movement patterns real quick. So the first one is 50 bodyweight squats or TRX. So we are trying to focus on good squats, and something I always remind these folks is that it's 50 speed squats. We're trying to get this completed. So coming here and trying to just knock out 50 squats at their own pace, they're not going to get done. They have to be willing to go after this finisher, for this finisher to be effective and for them to be in the yellow the entire time. Okay, TRX squat people, they need a little more assistance, especially for that knee. Then we can use those TRXs, and you're going to see them go pretty fast. The TRX allows that little extra speed inside of that squat pattern. So once we're down to that 50, move into butterfly sit-ups. Now we are going to try to enforce the butterfly sit-up or the full sit-up pattern on this one. So a butterfly sit-up is taking those feet, pushing them hard in together. I really like pushing my feet together, creates that gripping sensation, which engages that core. So to add a little bit of extra help for them to get those sit-ups done, let's go, they're allowed to swing their body into it. Okay, so we're gonna bring their arms into it, so make sure you download and explain to them why we're allowing a little bit of momentum into that sit-up today. If they have a little bit of trouble still with that, take those feet, lock them hard against the wall, and then when they're doing their sit-up, it becomes a lot easier because they kind of have that, that foot under the couch feeling, that extra grip that makes the sit-up a lot easier. Okay, so we're doing 40 of those. Those are going to be a part where it's going to slow people down that are a little bit weaker in their core. From there, we're going to move on to Bootstrappers. They're more than welcome to grab a little weight for this one. Okay, I like the weight in a Bootstrapper, helps anchor in, but I'm going to show that one just for demo purposes. They'll hold that weight just like a goblet, eyes up, butt down, and then switch position. Butt up, eyes down, look behind me. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that Bootstrapper is going to burn those quads out, but make sure they get to the bottom of that squat and that head up every time. Okay, so a good squat pattern at the bottom of that Bootstrapper. Okay, if we're not bootstrapping, if they use a TRX, okay, if they're not bootstrapping, just go right to medicine ball slam for 30. Okay, so we're catching off that bounce. We're trying to go as quick as possible. These are speed slams. Remember, as quick as possible through this finisher. Then our fourth exercise, 20 burpees. All right, so if they can do the full burpee, let's have them do the full version, all the way down, popping up. Something that requires them to stand tall, hands behind the head, clapping, doing whatever. Okay, if they're not able to do a full burpee at a fairly quick pace, then we can go into a plank where they're going to really go fast. Then drop that burpee pattern, and then if they're going to incline, try to get as many people on one of the heavier medicine balls and not the boxes, because we're going to have a lot of people spaced out, directly underneath the shoulders, jump out, jump in, stand tall, jump out, jump in, stand tall, knocking out 20. That might take a little bit as well. Then we finish with hand release push-ups. So hand release has to be done on the ground, so that's why we allow knees, okay? Most people will be doing these on their knees. We're going to take the hands off the floor, core tight, press up, hands up, pressing. The hands have to come off the ground for it to count as a rep. Try to get the stronger people into that full pattern, knocking out those hand release as quick as possible. They'll be able to finish. And that is the chipper.